What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel tonight, April 10th, 2017. The WWE Superstar Shakeup, night number one, right here on Monday Night Raw. Unpredictability. WWE not calling it a draft. It's just merely trades between Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan. That's what we were told before we hit the air tonight on Monday Night Raw. And what we actually got was none of that. I expected something completely different. I expected somewhat of a Sports Center draft-like mentality with podiums on the stage, both general managers being represented with trades going back and forth to give it that real sports presentation type feel. But as the rumors were circulating this weekend, and as I reported on Off the Script Extra this weekend with full draft coverage, Vince McMahon and WWE's creative team literally came up with this concept the day after WrestleMania at about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, before the Raw After Mania actually went on the air. So it was just like the regular draft that we seen last year. It was just like the inaugural 2016 draft and brand extension. It was WWE coming up with an idea and having absolutely nothing planned for it. So I expected the worst going into this tonight. I expected them to just come out of this looking completely catastrophic. I expected a complete mess. I'm still at the end of the night a little bit confused as to what's going on with the Payback and Backlash pay-per-views coming up. There's still a lot of loopholes. There's still a lot of unanswered questions. So I'm going to try and make the best of it that I can tonight. If not, I'm not going to really worry about it. I'm not really going to stress it. I'm sure news will break during the week, and we'll talk about it on Off the Script this weekend, man. So I'm really not going to dive too much into it, but we're going to try and make as much sense as we can out of everything that happened tonight, okay? Before we even begin the review, guys, I want to make this huge announcement, okay? And it's not really an announcement. It's something along the lines of a thank you. I am eternally grateful for everybody that came out and watched Off the Script Part 3 yesterday, okay? I wasn't feeling well on Saturday, and I didn't really get the episode up at the normal time at 11 a.m. on Sunday. I waited to record it during the day when I was feeling a little bit better, even though I still wasn't feeling 100%. And it got up around 4:30, 5 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. That Off the Script did so fucking well, man, and I think it has to do with the Fire JBL hashtag that's really, really fucking burning up right now on social media. But within that hashtag and within the topic of that video yesterday, which was JBL and the bullying and Mauro Ranallo and all this big story about JBL and people wanting JBL fired from WWE, I went on about a 30-minute rant about the state of YouTube right now and how difficult it is for content creators. Some people, they're busting their ass and they're not getting compensated. Higher-end YouTubers, larger YouTubers, people who do this for a career, people who rely on this for income monthly, they're being fucked over. And, someone like me might not feel it. I work an everyday job. I'm there 9 to 5, 9 to 6. I got my job, okay? I've contemplated quitting, but I haven't really brought myself to that point yet, because of the instability and the inconsistency of YouTube. And we talked about how we can support Off the Script and how we can support the channel due to YouTube's inconsistencies. And you guys came out in fucking legions yesterday to be a part of the Patreon page. And I texted Joe today, and I had another, I think, 3 or 4 people pledged to me today. I think we got close to 30 new patrons yesterday, and Joe had a record number of new patrons yesterday as well. And I want to say thank you to everybody that has shown enough faith in me and has really believed in me and felt like I was worth pledging monthly for. Because you enjoy what I do here. We resonate. We have similar opinions, and we're all in this together. I want to thank everybody for pledging to the Patreon page, and you guys are making it a lot easier through these tough times on YouTube, and I want to thank everybody. Everybody that pledged is going to get a shout out on Off the Script this Friday. Absolutely no question. I'm going to go over everybody that pledged for the month of April so far. Our best and biggest month yet on Patreon. If you guys want to be a part of that, patreon.com/JD from NY206. Right now, it is by far and away the biggest and best way to support this show and this channel and the podcast as YouTube sorts all this bullshit out. So thank you guys so much for that, man. You made my Monday, honestly, with all the fucking patrons I seen come through. So thank you guys so very much. The other way you guys can support the show is with Audible. Audible is sponsoring this show each and every Monday and Off the Script each and every weekend. audibletrial.com/offthescript. 30 days to try their service out free with one free audio book of your choice. Over 180,000 to choose from. Compatible with iPhone and Android devices. And no matter if you guys cancel your subscription within 30 days, you get to keep your audiobook for free regardless. AJ Lee's new book, everybody's cashing in on that, man. I'm hearing so many good things about that. So if you guys want a brand new audiobook to listen to, I'm hearing it's close to 9 hours long, and she actually goes over it herself for 9 hours, man. She just does the entire thing by herself. It's amazing from what I heard. And a lot of you guys cashed in on that. And if you guys want to take part in that, Audible's giving it to you for free today, each and every fucking week right here on Mondays with the Monday Night Raw review. That is audibletrial.com/offthescript. And that is an unbelievable way to support the podcast. We're also seeing record numbers in the Audible trial signups as well. So thank you to everybody for supporting what I do here, man. I'm going to be here each and every fucking week to give you guys the best wrestling content and the best wrestling podcasts and the best wrestling videos on YouTube.com. Thank you guys so much. Let's talk about this superstar shakeup, man. I was really worried about this. I was really thinking that WWE was legitimately going to kind of rectify what they did with the brand extension. The brand extension felt flat. The draft felt flat. And I thought this was going to be WWE's way to kind of make up for everything. I also thought this was going to be a way for WWE to really kind of even the rosters out, because we all know SmackDown's been working with far less than what Monday Night Raw's been working with. We all know this. We all know this. The one thing I want to get off my chest already, it was incredibly difficult not to bench people tonight on Twitter just for sheer stupidity. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. You guys got to open your eyes and you have to open your ears, okay? I can't stand when people do not pay attention. I understand maybe missing something that happened on the show, but they went over it 3 or 4 fucking times tonight. SmackDown is going to have their own superstar shakeup. People were tweeting at me in record numbers, JD, SmackDown is getting raped. SmackDown is getting gutted. What? Where? How? What are you talking about? Monday Night Raw is putting on their show tonight. And their show is to show you and me and everybody watching what superstars are coming over from SmackDown, and they're going to present those superstars on tonight's show. The Superstar Shakeup is 2 nights. 2 nights. SmackDown's going to get their shot. So tomorrow night, SmackDown is going to put on their show, and they're going to present to you the Monday Night Raw superstars that are going to switch brands. It's the same thing. SmackDown did not get gutted. SmackDown is not being raped. Okay? The one positive out of all this tonight, AJ Styles did not switch brands. He is still blue. I don't give a shit what anybody says. With AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura on the same brand, at the end of the night, even with all the superstars that Monday Night Raw took from SmackDown tonight, that is a victory in itself. Because we all want, at the end of the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel, goons, is AJ versus Nakamura at WrestleMania 34. So that, right now, is still intact. That's a victory in itself. Be grateful. Okay? Because that was the one thing that was going to fucking shed salty tears tonight. And I'm glad it didn't. The internet would have fucking broke. But WWE, again, as always, rushed. It came off sloppy. It came off so lazy. Uncreative. It's as if WWE took one of them fucking Christmas snow globes and... I'm going to use this as an example. It's the Magic 8 Ball. And they shook it up. And they just let it sit right on the fucking mantle. And they let all the snowflakes just fall to the ground. And they'll pick it up again and fucking shake it. And do it all over again. And the fucking snowflakes will fall. Rinse and repeat. That's all it was. That's all the Superstar Shakeup was. There was nothing creative behind it. There was no presentation. It was... just Monday Night Raw with fucking SmackDown superstars just showing up at random. Who's going to come out next? Who's going to show up on the Titantron next? That's all it was. You know, it had a sense of unpredictability, but as far as presentation goes, they get an F for failure. But this is WWE. This is Monday Night Raw. What do you expect? And I didn't mean to burst anybody's bubble last week, but clearly what I said came true this week. Monday Night Raw put on one of the best shows in recent memory last week with the Raw After Mania. I told you right out of the gate, right at the start of that video, do not get comfortable. WWE is going to revert back slowly but surely, even with all the new superstars, to giving you subpar Raws. And it started tonight. I was literally yawning my way through hour one. It picked up when Braun Strowman literally castrated Roman Reigns, which we will talk about. My dick got hard at that entire segment. Just want to let you guys know, okay? So, we'll talk about it in a second. Anyway, the Superstar Shakeup, really not what we expected, but I guess it did the job. It shook things up. It brought a sense of unpredictability, and Monday Night Raw is somewhat going to be looking different next week. It's got a new coat of paint. Will it be different? Will it give us better shows than what we've seen? Of course not. It's Monday Night Raw. What the fuck do you expect? You know, this isn't NXT. But Monday Night Raw got a new coat of paint. And that's all we can ask for right now. So I'm not going to be sitting here doing too much complaining. Because I did like some of the moves. Some of the moves I did not like. Some of the moves I'm just downright confused by. With these two pay-per-views coming up. Which we'll go over as we go on with this review. Nassau Coliseum, Uniondale, Long Island, New York. Bro, what the fuck is up with Long Island? There's a reason why I don't go to Long Island. You people over there, Jesus Christ, make some fucking noise, man. You're from New York. You're from New York. You know, my uncle lives in Long Island, man. I had a decent slice of fucking pizza over there. You know, you guys got good fucking pizzerias over there. At least make some fucking noise. JD's not going to be visiting Long Island anytime fucking soon. It's like you guys are fucking corpses over there. Come on, bro. This show was fucking dead. Dead for half of the show. I'm thinking back to fucking just a week ago when Roman Reigns was being fucking castrated in front of a live audience of 15,000 screaming Orlando fans. Fuck you, Roman. You know? Just die, Roman, or whatever the fuck they were talking about. Delete. Go away. You know? Shut the fuck up. Where were you people? You know? For half of this fucking show, I don't know where you were. Maybe you were out getting pizza. I don't fucking know. But Monday Night Raw opened up the show with John Cena and Nikki Bella. No, I kid you. Miz and Maurice dressed as John Cena and Nikki Bella. They walked down to the ring and opened the show. Like I said, dressed as Cena and his fiancée. Miz reminded everybody that they can't chant, John Cena sucks. And if you tell the WWE fans, or just wrestling fans in general, that they can't do something, they are going to do it 10 times over. Miz said that the smartest move for their brand was to come back to Monday Night Raw. Are you sure about that, Miz? Have you been watching Monday Night Raw, Miz? Have you been watching Monday Night Raw, bro? How could you say that after Road Dogg and everybody else over there treated you like gold? This is good for your brand. This might kill your brand, coming back to Monday Night Raw. This led to Dean Ambrose coming out. So not only did WWE get Apollo Crews already, he was the first one announced via YouTube.com. Goes to show you how much value WWE sees in Apollo Crews that he didn't even get fucking announced on the show until like at the 10 o'clock hour. We got The Miz and Dean Ambrose, who I might add is the WWE Intercontinental Champion. So Ambrose walked out. First thing on my mind is, well, I guess Baron Corbin's not getting the Intercontinental Championship. All that for naught. What the fuck are they going to do now? So there's my prediction right down the drain of Ambrose and Corbin feuding and Corbin winning the IC title, winning the Money in the Bank, and then cashing in and winning the WWE Championship and holding both titles at the same time. So that prediction went right down the fucking toilet. So the IC title is now on Monday Night Raw. I don't mind that. I predicted it. There you go. It makes sense. And by the end of this night, nothing else was really made as far as deals go or trades or switches. So that makes Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns all on the same show. What they do with that remains to be seen. But all members of the Shield are once again back on the same brand for the time being. Ambrose said that he was nervous to move to Raw because he didn't know if he knew he would know anybody when he arrived, but he is glad to see some people that he knows, and he hugged them. He hugged them, thinking they were John Cena and Nikki Bella legit, and he hugged them for their engagement. Ambrose thought Miz was actually Cena. Miz then really broke out of the Cena character. Nikki Bella, house rule number 478. Please clean up after yourself. And when you're done using the toilet paper, please refill the roll. Whatever, man. I'll get to Charlotte, don't worry. Ambrose thought that Miz was actually Cena. Miz pointed out that they were Miz and Maurice. Okay? And then all of a sudden he hits Miz with Dirty Deeds. So there you go. There you go. That was it. That was the most exciting way to open Monday Night Raw. After we get one of the greatest opening, probably the greatest opening of all time, just 1 week ago, we opened with The Miz, who I love, who I thought has done fantastic work on SmackDown, and Dean Ambrose, who is, he's lukewarm. So, out of the beginning, we see these two moves. Ambrose moving to Monday Night Raw, I don't mind. The thought of that, and Baron Corbin not winning it and not getting one over on Ambrose is kind of shitty. It's kind of shitty, but I like the move for Dean Ambrose. He needs new scenery. He needs new opponents. And the other thing that I immediately thought of is, well, if the Intercontinental Championship is coming over to Monday Night Raw, then Kevin Owens is most certainly coming over to SmackDown when SmackDown has their Superstar Shakeup on Tuesday. Because I can't see Monday Night Raw having both the US and the IC title. It's not going to be a mid-card title on Monday Night Raw. On SmackDown, rather. And Monday Night Raw is going to have both mid-card titles in the company. Not going to happen. That's not even. But knowing WWE, they might actually keep it that fucking way because Brock Lesnar's not on the fucking program. So they have to compensate with Lesnar not being there. But it doesn't make any sense. Realistically, logically, it doesn't make any sense. Ambrose coming over with the IC title. I'm assuming tomorrow Kevin Owens is going to come over with the United States Championship to SmackDown Live. Kurt Angle is on the phone backstage. And we got another promo and interaction with with Kurt Angle and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn wants to know which brand he will be on. Angle told him that there is a lot of interest in him from SmackDown. Of course there would be. Of course there would be. Monday Night Raw hasn't done a goddamn fucking thing with him. Daniel Bryan's probably foaming at the mouth right now at what he could do with Sami Zayn. Maurice and Miz walk in and they interrupt Zayn and Angle. Zayn and Miz then start arguing because Zayn felt like the Miz interrupted his conversation with Angle. Angle then said, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm not here to babysit. I'm not here to pretty much dwell in political arguments here. I'm going to do what I do best as general manager. Miz, Zayn, one-on-one on Monday Night Raw. And that's what we got. And that's how that came to be tonight for the program. New Day. New Day walks to the ring. And Kofi Kingston, by the way, is legitimately hurt. Okay, I do believe he has an ankle injury. We reported it on Off the Script this weekend. We were not sure if it was a rumor or legit. WWE has brought it to light and confirmed that it is legit. New Day is one man down. So being that Kofi is at home recuperating, they brought a blow-up doll. They brought a blow-up doll dressed as Kofi Kingston to the ring. And they were very serious. They kept it very short, very minimal. They told the Revival to come down to the ring and get this work. The Revival had t-shirts on that said, "We broke Kofi's ankle." And I think that was worn by Dash. And then Scott Dawson wore a t-shirt with the picture of the New Day's ice cream truck. And it said, "Rest in peace," something. I don't remember what it said, but it had the dates of last Monday's Raw, dude. The best t-shirts on the market right now. I'd buy both of them immediately. Dash and Dawson are fucking awesome. And I hope that WWE maintains how great they are, man. You can't have these guys stray from the path. These guys are fucking all about business. They're serious. These guys are probably the best tag team in the world right now. There's no reason to fucking, have these guys stray from the path that they've been on for the last 2 years. So I'm loving what they're doing so far. It's only been 2 weeks, but only time will tell. New Day versus the Revival. This was a very good tag team match for what it was being on Monday Night Raw. We had the hot tag to Big E. He came in. He did the suplexes. He got the hot tag. He was building momentum. It looked like he was going for his finishing move. And then all of a sudden, the Revival just completely break this match down. And off the top rope comes Xavier Woods. And he gets nailed with the Shatter Machine as he's flying off the top rope. I don't know what he was trying to do. If he was trying to do a flying headbutt, a cross body, an elbow. Whatever the case may be, the Revival took out Big E. Xavier Woods tried to get the one-up on both of them. But he got turned into a Shatter Machine, which looked fucking brutal as fuck. They didn't get all of it. But Xavier Woods sold the fuck out of it. He was fucking nailed. And they pinned them 1, 2, 3. The Revival for the second week in a row beat the New Day. Which, honestly, this is one of 3 matches where you just kind of felt the loser was going to go to SmackDown. I honestly think the New Day is done on Monday Night Raw. There's absolutely nothing for them to do on Monday Night Raw. They need a change of scenery. I think they can add a nice little element of excitement to SmackDown. They would legitimize the tag team division just that much more on SmackDown. I think they move to SmackDown on Tuesday. I think they come out on Tuesday and we see the New Day as Team Blue for the rest of the year. I think that's going to be it. And they're not the only team that's going to be moving over to SmackDown Live tomorrow, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But Revival beats the New Day with the Shatter Machine. I think the New Day is going over to SmackDown Live tomorrow on USA Network. No question. So we go from the tag team match to Neville and Austin Aries and TJ Perkins. There was some bickering back and forth. Neville cut a backstage promo about Austin Aries being his next challenger. He said that Aries is not on his level. TJ Perkins walked up and told him that one of these days somebody is going to make him eat his words. Neville told him, "Look at what he's become. You won the inaugural tournament. You were our first champion. You came out of that looking like a fucking beast, right? And now look at you. You're a fucking joke. Your career's a joke." Aries walked up with a banana that Titus O'Neil had conveniently laying and catering. Fresh bananas, man. Organic. That's where Austin Aries got his fucking banana from. For those wondering, JD, where did Austin Aries get his banana? He got it from Titus Catering. Fresh organic bananas at will. Ready to go, man. Available at all times. TitusCatering.com. Anyway, Austin Aries walked up and said that Neville is lying through his teeth. And TJ Perkins kind of took all of this personally, man. Neville called him a joke. Neville said that Austin Aries is taking opportunities away, like he's taking opportunities away from guys like Perkins after you've done everything. You were the inaugural man, the champion for this division. Now what happened? Fell from grace. You're nothing. Neville's right. TJ Perkins is fucking great. In the ring, TJ Perkins is great. I don't know what WWE did to him. They just WWEized him. They took him from the tournament. They had him. This is the same guy that beat Kota Ibushi in the fucking tournament. And as soon as the Cruiserweights debut, he's jobbing to fucking Brian Kendrick in week 3 in like 2 minutes. Doesn't really make sense. He hasn't really recovered from any of that. They WWEized him. I love the theme music. I didn't like it at first, but the theme music grew on me. It's catchy as fuck. But as far as TJ Perkins, it might fit his personality, but it doesn't fit the character that we see in the ring. It doesn't fit TJ Perkins, who we know can out-wrestle a lot of the fucking guys on that roster. You know? It just kind of took away from what TJ Perkins did in the Cruiserweight Classic. And I don't want to use the fucking term, but they pussyfied him. That's exactly what they did. And it's a shame. You know? He had a match with Nakamura a couple weeks back on NXT TV. On the network. Right before we hit Orlando. And that was the Perkins. That was the first time we seen a resemblance of what we seen in the Cruiserweight Classic. In that match with Nakamura. Now, not everybody in the Cruiserweight division is going to wrestle a match like Nakamura. But at least TJ Perkins raised his game. Was able to raise his game and show us how talented he really is. He hasn't really done any of that on Monday Night Raw. He hasn't been given the opportunity to do that on Monday Night Raw. And I've always said that TJ Perkins has it within him, just by the mannerisms and the way he comes off, that this guy could probably make a genuine heel. He comes off as a prick. He comes off as cocky. Who's gonna dab? Who the fuck dabs? You know? Just that alone gets heel heat. So, I've always thought this guy has the makings of a decent heel. Because he wasn't getting the reactions he was in the Cruiserweight Classic. He wasn't even getting an abundance of fucking babyface reaction in the Cruiserweight Classic. It was always that mixed reaction. Because he always had that dick-like persona. People respected him, but they just fucking hated his personality. So it was always split. But it was always more to the heel side of things. So that's why I always thought he made a better heel than a babyface. So tonight, WWE really had the opportunity to take TJ Perkins from what we've seen lately and finally do something with him and get him in the right direction. Curt Hawkins is now on Monday Night Raw. We go from the Raw after Mania to fucking Curt Hawkins in the ring. So WWE, the way that they were thinking with this superstar shakeup is, I don't know, maybe Titus O'Neil needed some new executive chefs in catering. I don't know. The fuck is Curt Hawkins going to be doing? Why did they announce Curt Hawkins on the show? Imagine being Apollo Crews and what he's thinking. Boy, they really don't give a fuck about me. Curt Hawkins got fucking TV time over me. All I got was a fucking YouTube.com package with Mike Rome and... Oh, is that his name? Mike Rome? The fucking announcer from NXT? I always feel like I'm going to mix his name up with Jim Rome. That old motherfucker on ESPN, right? Rome is Burning, whatever the fuck that sports show was on Fox. Or ESPN, or wherever the fuck he was. He was actually good. He was very controversial, man. He was a dick, too. I really did like Jim Rome. But Mike Rome and Apollo Crews, they got a little YouTube action. So Curt Hawkins is more important than Apollo Crews. And I was wondering, why did Apollo Crews get drafted or switched to Monday Night Raw? There's only one reason why he got drafted. It was because of his teeth. You know? Kevin Dunn's teeth is yellowing, bro. His teeth are yellowing. Apollo Crews, he's got the whitest teeth that I've ever seen, man. I gotta get tips from him. Apollo Crews, DDS. You know? So, Kevin Dunn needed a new dental buddy. That's why Apollo Crews is there. I don't see him doing anything else. I don't see him fighting for championships. I see Apollo Crews being Kevin Dunn's lackey, going to Pathmark, buying the most expensive tube of Aquafresh that you can find, and the softest bristled toothbrush that they have available. That's the only reason why he got drafted. Not because of his in-ring skill. I mean, they barely gave him a fucking television spot tonight. But they did. They showed a nice highlight package. Michael Cole said, well, Apollo Crews, one of the most dynamic athletes in all of WWE. Yeah, sure. Have we seen it? No. Anyway, Kurt Hawkins is on Raw. This guy was in and out. Why? Because Titus O'Neil was baking fucking blueberry pie. That's why. He couldn't wait to get back and fucking smell the aroma, fill the backstage area. What do I gotta do, bro? Bro, listen, you gotta go out there for 20 seconds and get punched by the Big Show. The pie will still be warm, bro. Don't worry about it, okay? And if not, we'll just put it in the oven again for you. Nice 5 minutes, get it a little extra crispy for you. You'll be fine, all right? Key lime pie, listen. Key lime pie is on Tuesdays, bro. We don't have no key lime pie here. Coconut custard. That's a new one. I gotta get the recipe for that one, bro. So, Kurt Hawkins is here for blueberry pie, and he also wants Titus to now come up with a recipe for coconut custard pie. That's why he's on Monday Night Raw. Anyway, Big Show came out. This led to Big Show walking out, and he knocked Kurt Hawkins out. Who gives a shit? Why was this on my television? Is Kurt Hawkins going to have anything to do on this show? No. Absolutely not. So why was it shown? And why did you cut Apollo Crews from the program and put Kurt Hawkins instead? Don't understand it. We'll never understand it. It's a waste of my fucking time. Austin Aries versus T.J. Perkins. T.J. Perkins gets the win here in a relatively short match. Two things I want to take away from this match. Number one, Austin Aries' elbow drop off the top rope is fucking beastly. Number two, Neville interfered, but he didn't lay a hand on anybody. He was sitting at the announce desk. He walked down the ramp. It distracted Aries. Perkins from behind with the small package. 1, 2, 3. Perkins gets a nice assisted victory. I guess you could call it an assist victory over Austin Aries with the help of Neville. After the match, T.J. Perkins blindsides Austin Aries, and what I believe happened is we finally seen the transformation from, T.J. Perkins is a babyface, but he's a dick, and now we've seen the transformation from 50-50 to full-blown fucking dick. T.J. Perkins is a heel. People booed him. People were displeased with him, and this is the right move. This is something that needed to happen. T.J. Perkins really needed to make that switch. He wasn't going anywhere as this in-between. Yeah, I respect what he does in the ring, but I don't fucking care for this guy. Now people have a reason to fucking give this guy a legitimate reaction, and I think this is the best move for him. Because they got the upcoming Mustafa Ali. People are really starting to take to him. He's very dynamic in the ring. That could be WWE's next big babyface in the Cruiserweight division. Having T.J. Perkins go from somewhat of a babyface to full-blown heel is going to do very, very well for T.J. Perkins. That's an excellent move, and I commend WWE for finally pulling the trigger on something that desperately needed to happen. Months ago. Finally made it happen tonight on Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins walked down to the ring for an entire segment that really didn't make any sense. It took too much time, and he really just could have cut to the chase and said, I'm staying on Monday Night Raw, and that's it, and give me Samoa Joe, book me for Payback, and, let me go have some Titus blueberry pie. But Seth Rollins came down, and he cut a long promo, and he didn't know if he was ever going to wrestle again following WrestleMania. Said he put so much focus into his match with Triple H at WrestleMania that he really didn't think about anything following WrestleMania. He said that they did come out victorious, and they slayed the King of Kings. And he said they because he pretty much thanked the fans for standing behind him. It wasn't only him, but it was everybody who slayed the King of Kings. He thanked the fans for giving him a second chance. He said that he is just getting started on Raw, and then called out Samoa Joe. And he wants Samoa Joe. He's got business with Samoa Joe, and then he wants to set his eyes on, once again, reclaiming the Universal Championship. He showed footage of sending Stephanie McMahon through a table, and everybody said, "Thank you, Seth," and did the yes chant. So Stephanie McMahon went through the table at WrestleMania. She's going to be off the show for an extended period of time. Thank fucking Christ, because each and every Monday Night Raw with that Stephanie McMahon is that much better. But she will be back, unfortunately. She will be back. I don't want to put a fucking damper on anybody's moods. She will be back. He said that he is enemy number one in the eyes of Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. And the easy thing to do, the easy way out would be to ask Stephanie to send him to SmackDown so he didn't have to deal with her bullshit anymore. But he says he doesn't want to do that. He never took the easy way out. He's not going to start now. He's staying on Monday Night Raw. This led Kurt Angle coming out. He walked to the ring. Angle said that it's clear McMahon wants Rollins gone off of Monday Night Raw, but Angle sees it differently. He's in charge of the show. This is my show. I make the decisions when Stephanie isn't here. And this is my show, and I want Seth Rollins on my show. He says that he was impressed with Rollins because he was a one-legged man at WrestleMania, and he still beat Triple H. He says that he wants to put on the best show possible, and the best show possible is with Seth Rollins. He said that as long as he is the GM, then Rollins has a home on Monday Night Raw. That got a big reaction. Samoa Joe then ran in and attacked Seth Rollins. Angle at three or four different times tried to get in between Rollins and Samoa Joe. You just seen it all over Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins' face with Angle standing there, that Angle wanted to fucking get in between those guys. I legitimately thought Angle was going to fucking throw somebody down. I honestly thought he was going to get in between those guys and suplex Samoa Joe down to the ground. I was waiting for it. I was hoping it was going to happen. I don't know if you guys thought the same thing. I don't know if you wanted the same thing to happen, but I legitimately thought Angle in his fucking suit was going to get in between Joe and Rollins and fucking take down and suplex Samoa Joe. I was waiting for it, and I was waiting for that pop from the crowd to fucking just explode. And we didn't get none of that. We didn't get none of that. Rollins super kicked Joe out of the ring. Joe retreated, okay? But he retreated, and his facial expression had that, I want to get back in there, but then again, I don't, because I don't want to fucking kill this guy. Samoa Joe, a lot of people were like, oh, Samoa Joe backed away. He's a fucking pussy. Samoa Joe backed away. Now they're fucking pussifying Samoa Joe. That's not the way I seen it, okay? I think Samoa Joe's actually going to get one up on Seth Rollins, because that's the only way to go. You can't beat Samoa Joe right now. Then the entire aura that is Samoa Joe, the Destroyer, would be no more. If you're going to call someone the Destroyer, he has to destroy. If you're going to call someone the Destroyer and then have him lose, that means he's a fucking pussy. He's no Destroyer. So I think Samoa Joe's going to get one up on Seth Rollins. But what I seen from Seth Rollins is, yeah, finally, I kicked you in the fucking face. I got somewhat of revenge on you. But Joe didn't back away. He wanted to go up. He wanted to get back in the ring. And the facial expressions were, you know what? I'm going to fucking restrain for now. I'm going to live to fight another day. Because if I get in there, I'm going to fucking kill you. That's what I seen. So it was a decent segment. Went a little bit too long. It was nice to see Kurt Angle. It got the job done. That was the big question going into SmackDown tomorrow. Is Seth Rollins going to be the one to go over to SmackDown for AJ Styles? So when Seth Rollins came out and said that, listen, I am staying on Raw, and then we got the confirmation from Angle that Rollins is staying on Raw, it kind of really, gave us a little bit of an easy feeling for the rest of the show, because now we're thinking, all right, who else is there to be traded, or who else is there on Raw to be switched to SmackDown for AJ Styles? There's really nobody else. Unless it's Roman. But it wasn't Roman. Because Roman got fucking carted away in a goddamn fucking ambulance. In one of the best segments I have ever seen on Monday Night Raw. That makes 2 segments that Roman has been a part of for the last 2 weeks that have been fantastic. Some of the best shit I've ever seen on Monday Night Raw in the history of this program. We'll talk about it. Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax. This is one of those other matches that I talked about in the beginning where the loser just kind of felt like they were going to SmackDown. But Charlotte versus Nia, match was garbage. The match was absolutely fucking boring. Okay? I do not like the way Nia and Charlotte gelled together. I just don't. It did absolutely nothing for me. The highlight of this match was Charlotte did one of her patented moonsaults. She missed. She missed the moonsault, but then again, it did not miss. She didn't connect the moonsault fully like she usually does, but when Charlotte flipped in the air, she came down. Her fucking boot came down right in Nia's jaw. Right in the side of her fucking face. Knocked her to the fucking barricade. It actually ended up being a beautiful moonsault. It always is a beautiful moonsault, but it turned a potential botch into something that looked like it really fucking hurt Nia Jax. So, Nia, in the end here, she has natural selection done to her. She had the moonsault done. And then back in the ring, Nia Jax hits a big splash in the corner. A Samoan drop that almost fucking killed Charlotte. Almost dropped her on her fucking head. And she gets the pin. 1, 2, 3. Charlotte loses clean in the middle of the ring to Nia Jax on Monday Night Raw. Now, a lot of people are wondering, JD, why are they burying Charlotte? Why is Charlotte losing? Why is she taking pinfalls? Well, listen. Nia Jax needed a big victory. Okay? She was not switching brands. So, Charlotte, by losing this, put over Nia and really put a nice exclamation point on Nia's resume here. Okay, Nia is now a giant. She is a beast. She is the largest woman, the most dominating woman in the women's division on Monday Night Raw. She just beat Charlotte Flair clean. Charlotte has nothing else to prove on Monday Night Raw. She's a fucking 5-time women's champion. She doesn't need to prove anything else on Monday Night Raw. The best thing that she could have done was put Nia Jax over clean. And that's exactly what they did. Charlotte, 100%, will be on SmackDown Live tomorrow. Mark my words. She will be on SmackDown Live. And that really became abundantly clear when the women's segment of this show, the second women's segment of this show, happened with Alexa Bliss coming out. And we'll talk about that when we get there. But Charlotte, no question, is going to be on SmackDown Live tomorrow. Finn Balor versus Jinder Juicer HGH. I am bullshitting everybody, but I am going to tell people I'm in dieting mode. Mahal. There is nobody in WWE that can convince me this guy's not on the juice. There's no way. This guy has fucking veins that you wouldn't believe. No normal human being looks like that. And then they even made mention of it. Corey Graves made mention of it, that he was going back and forth with fans on Twitter about his dieting. Yeah, sure. Finn Balor versus Jinder Mahal. Finn is always great to see. This match was nothing special at all. Finn Balor wins with the coup de grace. There was a moment here where Finn Balor looked really fucked up. He looked dazed beyond belief, man. Jinder Mahal, I don't know if it was just meant to come off that way or if it was a botch. Jinder Mahal hit Finn Balor with a fucking forearm that nailed Balor right in the side of the face. He looked completely out of it, man. He looked dazed for a little bit. He looked dazed. But ended up getting the victory, finished the match, coup de grace, off the top rope. Finn Balor beats HGH. Please stick a needle in me, Mahal. After the match, something that I totally did not expect to happen, and something that really raises a lot of questions. Bray Wyatt appears on the Titantron, and he cuts a new promo on Finn Balor, stating that this is his new home. And he's come with a gift. He will torture Randy Orton in the House of Horrors match. What I tell you, he's bringing the House of Horrors to Monday Night Raw because Monday Night Raw is the House of Horrors. So Bray Wyatt is bringing the House of Horrors match to Monday Night Raw. And he said that he will be watching Finn Balor. Now, I don't know what's going on here. Some of you might have confused me in the end because some of you were proclaiming that the WWE Championship is going to be defended on Raw's pay-per-view. Bray Wyatt vs. Randy Orton in the House of Horrors match is not going to last all the way till Backlash. It's going to happen at Payback, which I guess makes sense. You know, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, Payback. I guess it makes sense, but that really wouldn't make it a Raw exclusive pay-per-view because there's a SmackDown guy on the show. So it doesn't make sense there. Now, I don't know if you guys are sure the WWE Championship is being defended on the show. I wouldn't see why not. Because right now, the show doesn't have a main event. You know, the main event right now, the way it's looking, or rumored to be looking, is Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. There's no championship on the line. There's nothing about that match that speaks main event. It's just a grudge match. But maybe WWE does the House of Horrors match. Maybe they do give us Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton at Payback in 3 weeks for the WWE Championship, because Brock Lesnar is not scheduled to be on that show, and the WWE needs a main event. They need a championship title match on that show. Maybe that's why they're doing it. But it's not really a Raw exclusive pay-per-view if Randy Orton, a SmackDown guy, is on the show. Now, if it's Randy Orton versus... I want to raise this question because this is important. If it's Randy Orton, I'm not really sure yet, and we really don't know. If Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt happens at Payback, the promo that he cut on Finn Balor really wouldn't be able to take place at Payback, which then would leave Finn Balor without an opponent for Payback, because Kevin Owens is going to be defending the U.S. title against Chris Jericho. The rematch from WrestleMania is happening at Payback. That was announced tonight on Monday Night Raw. I originally thought it was going to be Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor for the U.S. title. I thought Jericho was done. After the loss at WrestleMania and after he went through a table last week, I thought that was WWE's way of writing him off television. I guess not. It's Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens for the U.S. title. So again, I ask, if Randy Orton is defending the WWE title against Bray Wyatt at Payback in the House of Horrors match, where does that leave Finn Balor on Payback? Maybe he gets drafted to SmackDown. Maybe Finn Balor gets drafted to SmackDown, where AJ Styles resides. And I believe after tonight, the club is going to SmackDown. Maybe Balor, Styles, Gallows, and Anderson reform the Bullet Club in a WWE way, of course, on SmackDown Live. I don't know. I'm really confused by that. Now, if Randy Orton is not defending the WWE Championship at Payback, then Balor probably stays on Raw and goes one-on-one with Bray Wyatt. But if Bray Wyatt is already on Monday Night Raw, why is he going to go to SmackDown after everything is concluded, right? If he's already placed and switched from SmackDown to Raw, and come this Tuesday, the Superstar Shakeup would be completed, why would Bray Wyatt, a Raw superstar, go over to SmackDown after everything's over with and fight for the WWE Championship? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So maybe the title match is happening in 3 weeks, and they're getting it out of the way for the reasons that I just gave you. And maybe Finn Balor, with nothing to do, is moved over to SmackDown Live. I don't know, man. I'm getting a little fucking excited about that. A brand with Nakamura, Styles, Balor. I think SmackDown will be fine, bro. I think SmackDown will be perfectly fine. And after tomorrow, Naka, Styles, Balor, Zayn, Owens. Dude, Come on, man. SmackDown for a 2-hour show will be fine. Believe me. Anyway, moving on. Those are my questions. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But Bray Wyatt moving over to Monday Night Raw, man. I mean, I don't know. So it pretty much ensures Bray Wyatt is not going to win the WWE Championship. That's what that means to me. It makes the House of Horrors match predictable. But WWE, maybe, now this is a long shot, I'm just throwing ideas out at you. Maybe Bray Wyatt wins the WWE Championship and takes it to Monday Night Raw. That happens at Payback, okay? He takes the title to Monday Night Raw. That won't be determined for 3 weeks. But what if? What if Brock Lesnar tomorrow gets drafted or switched in this Superstar Shakeup to SmackDown and he takes the Universal title to SmackDown, and then when Payback comes around, Bray Wyatt wins the title and takes it over to Monday Night Raw, and we have both major championships switch brands? I don't know. I honestly don't know, man. Very confusing right now. That's the one aspect of this entire show that really made my fucking, my brain hurt just thinking about it. Because it's a fucking mess. It's an absolute fucking mess. Like, I don't know why they make things so confusing. But I'm going with scenario A. I think Bray and Orton at Payback, just to get it out of the way, just to give that show a main event. Balor's got nothing to do. I think Balor's coming over to SmackDown tomorrow. I think Balor is going over to SmackDown tomorrow. I could be wrong, but again, we'll wait and see for SmackDown Live. WWE announced that Kalisto, Slater, and Rhino are on Monday Night Raw. I'm glad some of my predictions came true. I'm glad some of my predictions up until this point came true. Kalisto makes sense on Monday Night Raw. Sin Cara's there. You have another tag team if you want to put him back and create the Lucha Dragons again. Because you'll be moving. You might be moving 2 teams tomorrow. In the Club and the New Day. If they want to move Enzo and Cass, they could do that as well. Because they weren't on this show. Enzo and Cass were not on this show at all. And the New Day, they now lost twice 2 weeks in a row to the Revival. That's the least that they could do, being that they're the longest reigning tag team champions of all time. You got this new stud team coming in here. Why not give them a few victories to get them, going on Monday Night Raw? We could see the Club, Enzo and Cass, and the New Day all on SmackDown Live tomorrow. Maybe Kalisto comes over and we see the Lucha Dragons. We got Rhino and Slater on Monday Night Raw on top of the Revival. Sheamus and Cesaro, the Hardys, and they had the Shining Stars in there today. I don't know if they're going to be taken seriously or not, but, I would only move 2 of those teams. I would move the Club and I would move the New Day. I would not move Enzo and Cass. I would keep Enzo and Cass on Monday Night Raw. That's what I would do. But being that you got Kalisto, you could utilize him in 2 ways. Either the Lucha Dragons, or you could put him on 205 Live. Either way, I think it's a good move, and something that I really thought made sense before this even happened. Rhino and Slater, they weren't doing nothing on SmackDown. I think they'll do very well on Monday Night Raw. They're an over babyface tag team. The crowd likes them. The crowd associates with them. I think they'll do fine. They got a nice little pop when their graphic popped up on the Titantron when they were making announcements of other switches from SmackDown to Raw. Sami Zayn versus The Miz. This one went a little bit. Decent match. Sami Zayn wins here with a reverse roll-up because of Maurice. Maurice tried to interfere, and Sami Zayn got a reverse roll-up from behind. 1, 2, 3, Sami Zayn wins. The typical stuff here. Miz did his Daniel Bryan yes kicks. Sami Zayn hit a blue thunder bomb out of nowhere for a near fall. One of these days, Sami, you're going to win with the fucking blue thunder bomb. Miz then distracted Zayn. Maurice. Maurice distracted Zayn, and Miz tried to hit the skull-crushing finale, but Zayn reversed it. Roll up from behind, 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn I am 100% sure Sami Zayn is going to SmackDown. There's absolutely nothing for him to do on Monday Night Raw. Sami Zayn would definitely benefit with a move to SmackDown. And, Sami on the same brand as Ty Dillinger and Kevin Owens and Nakamura and AJ Styles. Finn Balor possibly. SmackDown is looking like the smart mark, internet mark type show. So it's going to be very interesting to see what WWE does. They might be forced to make SmackDown the better show because right now SmackDown has the most momentum out of the two shows. But I don't think they'll overload SmackDown too much because they don't want to take away from Monday Night Raw's thunder, being that they're realistically still the A show. But we know they're not. Anyway, this is where the best part of the show happened. And I was fucking so thrilled with what happened here. I didn't think this was going to end up as anything. I thought it was going to be like a simple backstage attack. Michael Cole attempted to conduct an interview with Roman Reigns. Okay? Asked him the generic question. Reigns said beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania was bittersweet. It was all types of emotions running high, Braun Strowman walked up to the fucking interview area and legitimately grabbed this guy out of his seat. He threw him into a brick wall and absolutely hurled this guy like a fucking piece of garbage. Just imagine the garbage men rolling up down your block and they're making all this types of noise in the morning, waking you up, and they're taking your fucking trash pails from the front of the yard and they're fucking just chucking trash into the back of the fucking truck. That's exactly what Braun Strowman did to Roman Reigns here. But instead of into a garbage truck, it was through a fucking table in the back, which I believe was being used for catering, because there was a bunch of fucking empty Coke cans just littered around, and there was paper plates all over the place. Must have been Curtis Axel's doing, man. I believe Titus O'Neil had made homemade pan pizza. And they were having a nice little pizza party back there. Braun Strowman said, fuck your pizza. I want Domino's, but I need to work up a fucking hunger first. This guy threw Roman Reigns like a fucking cruiserweight through those tables, man. He broke those tables. Done. I started laughing my ass off. I'm like, holy shit. That was fucking great. The beatdown didn't stop. Braun wasn't done yet, bro. He took him further into the back. Started slamming him into the fucking walls, into the fucking steel gates. He took some production equipment, those crates, rammed him into the fucking wall. He took the crate and rammed it right into the fucking wall where Roman Reigns was laying. It looked like Roman Reigns was laying in a fucking in a fucking bloody mess, in a puddle of his own piss. That's how fucking great it was. So Braun Strowman walks away because there's a bunch of officials at this point just, get some help back here. Everybody came from the back to fucking try and ward off Braun Strowman. He left, and then they get a stretcher. They put Roman Reigns on the stretcher, and Braun Strowman yells out, I'm not done with you yet. He takes the fucking stretcher after they tied Roman Reigns to the stretcher, okay? And I had a brain fart while watching this. Thankfully, Roman Reigns was feet first instead of head first on this stretcher, which I originally thought he was, which I thought was all the more funnier. Braun Strowman takes the stretcher. He fucking shoos everybody away. They start running like cowards. Roman is strapped to the stretcher. He takes the stretcher out to the fucking loading dock and throws it off the loading dock. Roman Reigns goes fucking flipping in the air. The stretcher hits the ground. Roman hits the ground face first as the stretcher is overturned. I couldn't stop. My brother texted me, laughing my ass off. My phone blew up as Roman went flying off the fucking loading dock. Did he go head first? Was it feet first? It legitimately looked like it was a fucking dummy on the stretcher. That WWE worked some fucking camera magic and legitimately had a dummy strapped to the fucking thing to enhance the visual. But Roman Reigns was there. He went feet first instead of going head. Can you imagine if he went head first off the loading dock? Holy shit, we wouldn't be seeing Roman Reigns for the rest of the year. So Roman got his fucking ass handed to him as the crowd in the arena started chanting, "Thank you, Braun. You deserve it," to Roman Reigns, which was fucking hilarious. You deserve it. Everything that happened to Roman, you deserve it. So everybody, they go to commercial break. They're loading fucking him into the fucking ambulance. Braun Strowman comes back again as they're loading him into the fucking ambulance. He fucking goes into the back of the ambulance. He fucking punches Roman Reigns a few times. He's looking around to fucking destroy something. He slams the ambulance door. And in a freak of fucking nature, which obviously was not real, it was shot to look real, because I know Braun Strowman's a large, strong motherfucker, but he ain't that fucking strong. If he legitimately overturned an ambulance, this guy would have fucking ruptured discs and fucking a hernia and fucking pulled this and pulled that. He would have broke his fucking back. Braun Strowman would have been riding in the ambulance with Roman Reigns if he really tried to overturn this ambulance. So they showed him lifting the ambulance up, and he got it off the ground, which I do believe he could do a little bit. But then they panned the camera to the back of the ambulance, right, with the door closed, where Roman is entrapped and fucking caged. They panned the camera to the back as if they were working some type of fucking magic, right? The other side, the left side of the camera was blocked off as if something was, helping pull this thing and overturn this thing. But in the end, they panned back to the original shot of Braun Strowman flipping the ambulance over. And it was just a great visual, man. That's all it was. Obviously it was not legitimate, but it was made to look legitimate. And I gotta admit, man, who's ever booking and writing and putting Braun Strowman in the segments that he has been in, I mean, the guy is doing wonders, man. That's how you legitimately build up a fucking monster. That was unbelievable. I've never seen a beatdown like that in a very long time on Monday Night Raw. That was almost Attitude Era-esque. And I don't know if I am, a little bit out there with this assumption or this feeling. And I'm sure you guys were feeling the same way. I wanted him to come back again after he overturned the ambulance. I was actually looking for Braun Strowman to come back a few more times and just fucking wipe the floor with Roman Reigns for the rest of the show. How many different ways can Braun Strowman destroy the Roman Empire on Monday Night Raw? But that was enough. Enough was enough. The overturned ambulance was enough. They loaded him into another ambulance, a smaller ambulance, and they carted him away. They said Roman Reigns has a cracked rib, a separated shoulder. Yeah, sure. You ever played Doom? You ever played Doom on the PC back in the day? Doom 1, Doom 2, right? And your character's fucking roaming around, and you get that blue armor, which is like 200 armor, right? All Roman Reigns did was take a minus 100 armor hit. He still has green armor on, bro. So, I'm expecting him to come back, I don't know, next week. I was expecting him to come back in the next fucking 20 minutes before the end of the show. Because that's what he does. Maybe he visited fucking Hyrule in one of them fucking fairy fountains and he became fucking healed. I don't know. Knowing Roman Reigns, that's exactly what he's doing right now. He's fucking visiting a fountain fairy and he's fucking splashing his face with the fucking fairy water. And he's got these fucking fairies flying around. Heal me. And he's got the fairies blowing him kisses. He'll be back. Guarantee it. This clown will be back. And then they'll wonder why we boo Roman Reigns, right? Oh, but WWE, I thought, after last week, we usually boo the people we cheer and we cheer the people we boo. What happened? I thought we were supposed to cheer Roman Reigns this week, right? What happened? Yeah, they got back to the arena. The announcers were all somber, right? Crowd was doing, nah, 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 nah. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. Goodbye, Roman. I wish it was for real. Anyway, best segment of the night. Unbelievable. I wanted him to come back and do it again, but He did. But we'll live with what we got. Anyway, 8-man tag. Hardy's already in fucking 8-man tags on Monday Night Raw with the Shining Stars. That didn't take long. Hardy's, Cesaro and Sheamus, and another brilliant WWE booking scheme here. Ooh, the Hardy Boys, the champions. They're defending against Sheamus and Cesaro in 3 weeks. Let's team them up in an 8-man tag. So creative, you fucking clowns in Stamford, right? How long did it take you to come up with this one? Just as long as fucking Titus O'Neil baked his cookies tonight in 10 minutes. Versus Machine Gun Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, and the Shining Stars. Who cares? Do you care? When you put teams like this together in a fucking jumbled mess, I hate it. It's a waste. I just don't care. I really don't. We got the Hardys winning the match, clearly. You know, twist of fate, swanton by Jeff, 1, 2, 3. It was over. Hardys and Shazamo, they shook hands at the end of the match, and respect was shown. They got a tag team title match in 3 weeks. Matt was doing his delete. He's still fucking teasing our emotions. But I'm over it now. I expect him to be broken, but I'm waiting for something to happen. Maybe they lose the titles. Maybe they become broken over time for something catastrophic happening to them. I don't know. But clearly they will be leading in that direction. Just got to be patient. But as far as the tag teams here, I expect the club to go to SmackDown. Hardys are on Raw. Sheamus and Cesaro are on Raw. The Shining Stars, I don't know if they'll be utilized correctly. I would not move Enzo and Cass right now. I would keep Enzo and Cass on Raw. You got Slater and Rhino on Raw. So right now the tag team division is looking like this on Raw. Hardys, Sheamus and Cesaro. You got Slater and Rhino, the Shining Stars, Enzo and Cass. And that's 5 teams. And you could do the Lucha Dragons if you want. I really don't know what WWE is going to do as far as tag teams go. I know for sure the club is going. I know for sure the club is going to Monday Night Raw. And the New Day is going to Monday Night Raw. And the Revival. And the Revival's on Raw. So I believe right now it's 2. It could be 3. I don't know. But I know for sure that the club and New Day are going to SmackDown for sure. So those are 2 teams moving over. Moving on here, we got Sasha Banks. She came down to the ring and introduced Bayley. They exchanged some nice words. I thought there was going to be a heel turn here. You know, Sasha Banks really got very vocal. And she said, you know what, Bayley? You know, you had all your smiles and your fun at WrestleMania. All that shit is gone now, bro. It's time to fucking pony up. It's time to start getting serious. And then she was going to say she wanted the title. She wanted to challenge Bayley for the title. All of a sudden, Alexa Bliss comes out to a thunderous ovation. Bliss said that this was sickening and that she's the one who deserves recognition. She thought their friendship was weird, Bayley and Sasha, and vowed to take over this division. She's a 2-time women's champion, and now she's here for Bayley's women's championship. Mickie James came out and bragged that she is a 6-time women's champion, that she is now on Monday Night Raw, and that Alexa Bliss's nightmare on Raw has just begun because she is here and arrived. Nia Jax came out and attacked Mickie James from behind, steamrolling her from the ramp. Bliss then shoved Sasha Banks into Nia Jax, who took her out with a Samoan drop, and then did the same to Bayley. Bliss and Nia Jax had a stare down at the end of all of this. Sasha Banks is on Raw. Okay, she's staying on Raw. Bayley on Raw. Alexa Bliss on Raw. Mickie James on Raw. Dana Brooke on Raw. Monday Night Raw has a different coat of paint for the women's division. I like it. Okay, but you got rid of SmackDown's best woman heel. So obviously Charlotte, Monday Night Raw's best woman heel, coming over to SmackDown. That's what I see happening. Charlotte will be on SmackDown. Okay, Mickie James is gone. I see Emma moving over to SmackDown Live. I think Emma's going to thrive over on SmackDown Live. You know, hopefully it's not Dana Brooke. I don't want to see Dana Brooke anywhere besides unemployment. She's awful. She's absolutely fucking awful. But the 2 women I see coming over from Monday Night Raw to SmackDown, I see Emma and I see Charlotte at the end of tonight. I really do. And I think that's great. I really do. You're going to have Nikki, Natalya, Naomi, Becky, Charlotte, and Emma. Not bad, bro. Not bad. And I made the mention of Sasha not switching brands. The one thing you want to do here is move Charlotte and Sasha away from one another. So Charlotte's going to be on SmackDown. Sasha now could probably thrive on Monday Night Raw. We get some nice matches with Bayley and Alexa, Sasha and Alexa, you know, Mickey and Bayley, Sasha and Mickey. WWE's got some nice fresh matchups there. But the main thing here is you want to keep Sasha away from Charlotte. Because if you moved Charlotte like it was being rumored to SmackDown, and then she turned heel, there would be no impact there. Yeah, she turned heel, but it's not going to be as impactful. If you keep Sasha on Raw and she turns heel, at least she could do it against Bayley. And at that point, it would be impactful. That's what I was hoping for, and that's exactly what they did. They kept Sasha on Raw. Charlotte's going to SmackDown tomorrow night. Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens in the main event. They hyped this as champion versus champion. No titles on the line here. Really not that good of a match, to be honest with you. It did what it did for a main event. Crowd really wasn't all that into it. Dean Ambrose wins with a dirty deeds. You know, Owens hit a power bomb for a near fall. Ambrose went for dirty deeds. It was blocked. Owens hit a super kick. Ambrose then finally hit dirty deeds for the win. 1, 2, 3. The Intercontinental Champion beat the U.S. Champion. At the end, Jericho walked down to the ring, hit a code breaker on Owens, and that's the way they closed the show. Owens and Jericho, payback for the U.S. title. I do believe Owens does move over to SmackDown Live because it doesn't make any sense for WWE to have 2 mid-card titles on Raw and leave SmackDown without anything. Doesn't make sense. You got to give those guys something to fight for. Owens is going to SmackDown. Charlotte's going to SmackDown. Club's going to SmackDown. New Day's going to SmackDown. Sami Zayn's going to SmackDown. Emma is going to SmackDown. I think maybe Rusev is going to SmackDown. Because he wasn't on the show. And I'm hearing Rusev, the rumors of Rusev moving to SmackDown. I think he could thrive over there as well. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. The main thing WWE really need to focus on here with this roster shakeup for the rest of the year before we get to another draft. Concentrate on the women's divisions. Get them even. Get them right. Make the tag team divisions competitive for both brands. With the Hardys and the Revival being on Monday Night Raw, it gave WWE a little bit more leeway to kind of add a few more teams to SmackDown, because with the Hardys and the Revival, that automatically makes their division better by far, no matter what they do with SmackDowns, because that's how important the Hardys and the Revival are to a division. You know, Sheamus and Cesaro, great. You got Enzo and Cass. You got Slater and Rhino. You got the Shining Stars. You could use the Golden Truth if you wanted. You could put the Lucha Dragons in there, you know. You can make some makeshift tag team if you want. You know, come up with different combinations. But the Hardys and the Revival added a lot to Monday Night Raw. It's okay if you kind of imbalance and make SmackDown, you know, have one team more than Monday Night Raw does, because that's how great the Hardys and the Revival are to their respective brand. You know, Alexa moved over to Monday Night Raw. It means Charlotte, who is the #1 heel in the women's division of Raw, is moving over to SmackDown. Dean Ambrose takes the IC title to Monday Night Raw. Kevin Owens has to be on SmackDown because they need a mid-card title. They need a mid-card title, and it was rumored that the IC and US titles could be switched. The only thing that I'm concerned with here is what do they do with this Bray Wyatt situation? Are they going to put Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton at Payback? Where does that leave Finn Balor? Is Finn Balor going to be without a match at Payback? Is he going to SmackDown? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. That's the only thing that really left us with a big question mark. Other than that, this superstar shakeup did what it needed to do. It shook things up. It made things unpredictable, but it did so in an uncreative, lazy way. It wasn't creative whatsoever. And that's WWE for you. That's the end result of something that was just planned in the middle of the afternoon before the Raw after Mania. And Vince McMahon got his goons and his writers to come up with ideas, and this is the best thing that they got. Instead of giving us a real feel presentation of something important and trades and discussions and fucking drafts and all this other shit. Making like a big-time shakeup. We just see random SmackDown guys appear on Monday Night Raw, and we're going to see Monday Night Raw guys appear on SmackDown. That's the best that they came up with. But listen, if it shakes the rosters up, fine. I'm just confused by this Randy Orton Bray Wyatt situation. Let me know what you guys are thinking about that. Very curious to know what you guys are thinking about that. But until then, I am JD. Thank you guys so much. And that is your Monday Night Raw review, man. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. One word of advice, man. If you guys were interested in hearing Joe Cronin Show and JD off the script live at WrestleCon, WrestleMania weekend, that podcast is live as of this morning. Make sure you guys go and check that out. It is only audio, by the way. You're not going to be seeing me and Joe in the video. It's not visual. It's strictly audio. So if you guys want something to fall asleep to, sounds great. You hear the sounds of WrestleCon behind us. It's just a good time, man. So make sure you guys go and check that out and show some support for that. Patreon.com/JD from New York or JD from NY206 if you guys want to pledge. Once again, that's Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Thank you to everybody who pledged. Thank you to those who are going to pledge. And audibletrial.com/off the script. If you guys want to support the show, great way with Audible. 30 days free to try the service out. One free audiobook. Get your free audiobook today, compatible with iPhone and Android. audibletrial.com/off the script. Follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206 and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not done so already. We are nearing 77,000 subscribers, getting very, very close to that 80. So can't wait to hit that. But until then, guys, I will see you all tomorrow for SmackDown Live. I am JD. Have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow for more Superstar Shakeup. I'll talk to you later.